Hello everyone, my name is Sam and today I'm joined by Clifford who just did finish the Traction Lab process and we've been working on this project for a couple of multiple weeks. So thank you very much for joining us, Clifford.
Thank you for having me.
All right, no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So just as I said, we've been working on your project for a while. Now we've reached the finish line. How was it?
It was very interesting. I think I learned a lot along the way. Going into this not knowing anything, it's not knowing anything that on this side of the world, it's interesting. I mean, I've had you helping me and having your team help out a lot, and I think it's just been a all-round pretty good experience.
That's good to hear. That's great to hear. Well, I mean, Traction Lab has so many components, right? With the reporting at the beginning, workshop, and interviews and design, and so on and so forth. What do you think was the most valuable component of the workshop for you?
I think the actual workshop itself. I mean, there was a lot of uncertainties that we went through that we worked out together. I think it was a good point in there. I think the interviews is also a really good point. I think we got a good insight into the requirements in through those.
Yeah.
So I think those two together, I think it's worked out well for the end product.
Right. It's interesting that you say the interviews are valuable because the product that you're building, you have tremendous experience in the interior design space. 19 years of experience. And obviously our interviews with the product that we're building are for interior designers.
Yeah.
So with your experience, how did you found that input of these interviews? Because we went out and we said, all right, our target market is specific type of interior designers, right? How did you find the input to the product, and what was the value that these interviews brought in for this project?
I think the biggest value from them would probably be, firstly validating what we assumed was a product.
Yeah.
Good to hear that the market out there is suggesting and clarifying exactly what we thought was the initial idea. And then also there's a lot of, because we've got quite a vast network, there's many different aspects to interior design, and it's good to hear people on the other side in smaller companies what their requirements are, and seeing that, hearing their valuable input, I think, into bettering the product and finding the best solution for what we're trying to do.
Right. Really interesting. Okay. And, in a lot of scenarios, Traction Lab is a big product. It's something that has a lot of components. And sometimes people will say, you know what, I don't need the validation. I'm pretty sure what I want, and I don't need to go through that process. What would be your advice to? Did you have that mindset at the beginning, or what would be your advice to somebody who has that mindset?
I think in any startup, everyone's got uncertainties about what they're doing. I know what we're doing, and I know a lot of people in the industry and that we've been speaking to, and from our point of view and what we do, we've known that it's been a requirement for a while, but it's always good to hear from people you don't even know of that they have the same concerns. I think I would recommend it. Possibly, if someone thinks that they know it all, it's probably they should be asking questions that they're not entirely what they already know.
Right.
So
right.
we know the answers to the questions we ask. So if we don't ask those questions, if you ask questions that you don't know the answers to, you're going to get another answer. So possibly they should have more of an input into. I shouldn't say we didn't have enough input, but in those certain circumstances, they should have be influencing the topics in the interviews quite substantially.
And how did you find, so that when we do the interviews, obviously the big component after that is the part that we start doing the designs, and we look at branding, we look at the landing page and so on and so forth. How did you find that process?
At the end of the day, we had quite a lot of interaction between both teams, and I think we got the the end result was exactly as what we wanted. Your team, they provided input and suggestions, and that's always good. We always have our own way that we want to do things.
Yeah.
So it's always good to hear the other side. But yeah, from my point of view, I probably always think that a marathon takes 3 minutes to run. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and then you realize how many the other components that are involved and so on and so forth. But I think as well, working with someone with such a strong background in interior design and just meshing that with the background in app design from our side, it was a great experience for us as well. And exploring those venues and how these two combine. And what is next for your product? I know you're talking to people, bringing them on board, co-founders potentially, and looking at a couple of investment channels. What is next for your product?
Well, yeah, the biggest thing right now is getting investors on board. We're chatting to a few guys at the moment. We'll see how that goes. And then once that is done, then we move on to creating the minimum viable products, and then hopefully we'll launch in probably by the middle of the year.
Right.
That's the aim.
Right. Love it. No, love it. That's great. And I think it's been an absolute pleasure to be involved as well. I mean, all the hustle that you've put into this, it was great to be on this, alongside of it. And we've been talking about the people that potentially could come on board and the collaborations and so on and so forth. So it's absolutely been a pleasure to be part of this.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
it's great to have you guys on board. I think I might have had a different experience with a few other people. So yeah, it's been good.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you very much. It's been great working with you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you very much as well. That was our testimonial, and join us later for more. Thank you.